Okay, so what we're getting into is now starting to prep for this test, which is set for next Tuesday. Okay. So if we had an actual math book, what we would be doing is going to the section of our math book that gives us the chance to kind of review everything that we've done up to this point. But as you all know, you don't have a book and you don't have access to it online. So I had to create the math book on the screen behind me, okay? So what I have done is I've gone through every lesson that we have learned through this chapter. And we skipped some lessons because there were some lessons that had information that wasn't important for us in our future math year. So we only stuck with the stuff that we're going to see through 6th and 7th and 8th in high school, okay? So the first section that we came across was this section on finding quotients using mental math, okay? So let's do this just so that we can kind of keep ourselves organized. Our review is going to begin today and it's going to carry on Monday. And then after Monday, we will then be ready for that test on Tuesday, okay? So what you're going to do in your notebook is start building your review so that by Monday night when you go home, you can then just like practice this stuff and be ready to rock it out on Tuesday, okay? So the first thing that you're going to be seeing is how do we find quotients using mental math? So if the directions say that, somebody tell me, first off, what do those directions even mean? Because a lot of us are still falling into bad habits of not reading directions. I have to tell you this a lot when I grade quizzes or I grade tests, and the section says to estimate the quotient, and I'll have people solve. And I have to count them wrong, and I have to send a little note back that said, hey, read the directions, you were supposed to estimate. So the directions are important. That's why I put them in bold black on the test. What do these directions mean, Addison?
It means like you want to find the estimated answer, like using mental math.
Estimated?
And not estimated means you do the problem in your head.
There you go. So you should be able to solve these math problems quickly in your head. And what kind of problems are they going to be?
They're going to be mental math.
If I'm finding the quotient, what kind of problems are they going to be?
They're going to be division problems.
They're going to be division. They're going to be division because we should know at this stage of the math game that quotient is the answer to a division problem, okay? So let's kind of look at some of them. Obviously, we do not have to do all of them, but let's copy down problems number 1 and 2. And let's see if we can remember how to do this. So put your hands down. I want you to just try to figure out the answer and plop it into your notes directly underneath the problem.
Got it.
Now, those of you who are telling me, got it, or done, I want you to look. Did you copy the problem?
Yep.
Because if you're going home and you're studying material and all you see is a number, you're not going to have a clue what that number went with, what kind of problem it went with. So you got to have the problem so that you can see, oh, a problem like this gave me this answer. This is how I work it out into it. Okay. Again, these things are mental math, so you should be able to do these a little bit on the quicker side. So for those of us, Ms. Malone is not trying to force you to work fast through these tests. That's not my mission. But I do need you to understand that in life, there's a time period that we have to do stuff in. Every day only has 24 hours in it. After that, the day is done. So every day of our life, we are held to an amount of time that exists every day. So if we are in a math class, we are locked in to having to get this thing done during this amount of time. And some of us are still trying to improve on that. And some of that is a focus issue. Some of that is because we just lose a little bit of focus in the middle of the test. And so when we should be working, we're just kind of staring. And that's something we have to work on. We got to learn, we got to train our brain how to stay locked in on what we're doing. Okay? So for problem number 1, all right, let me move my little thingy-majigger down. But for problem number 1, who can tell me what I should do if I was going to start to solve this thing. Shane, what would I do?
So 63 divided by 9 is normally 7. And since there's 2 zeros at the end of 63, you just put 2 zeros at the end. Quotient could be 7.
Amazing.
So you get
So I couldn't have said it better myself, but because we have people at home who maybe didn't hear you perfectly, what you said was that I'm supposed to look at the numbers that aren't zeros and divide those first inside my head. 63 divided by 9, Shane told me is
7.
7. Do I have to know my multiplication facts in order to be able to divide?
Yes.
Absolutely, 1000%. If you're struggling at all with your multiplication facts, then remember that Excel stuff I told you about? You need to spend time on multiplication then. Because you won't be able to do anything in the future if you're stuck in this multiplication facts world, okay? Now, he also then told me since this number ends with zeros, mentally, we know those zeros just go where? Shane? Right back into the answer. And so our answer becomes 700. Where's my 700s? Who got it? Fabulous. Okay, let's move over to this one because this one's a little bit on the different side because as you notice, the divisor on this one doesn't just have one digit like in the one next to it that we just finished. So who wants to take this one? Hallie, you want to take this one? All right, so Hallie, we're not going to do anything different. We're going to do exactly what Shane just told us to do on the first one, which is let's divide the numbers that aren't zeros first. Okay, so let's do that. What do you mean to divide first? Okay, she wants me to divide 54 and 6 first. So how many 6s will fit into 54? 9, because she knows her multiplication facts. Excellent. But the issue here is now both of these numbers have zeros. So how do I know how many are supposed to go in the quotient?
So because 6 has 2 zeros, it cancels out the 2 zeros and
So smart. She said that because this number over here has 2 zeros, those 2 zeros get canceled out with these 2 zeros. And so all digits have been used, so your final quotient becomes what? Just 9. Okay. All right, we have to stop here.
Yeah.
But we will continue on with this on Monday.